is Anthony Richardson, and you're listening to RosterWatch.
This is AJ Brown, and you're listening to Roster Watch.
This is Josh Allen, and you're listening to RosterWatch.
Roster Watch Nation, what is up, and welcome back to another episode of Watching Rosters here on the Roster Watch YouTube channel and Twitter feed, X feed, whatever you want to call it. I'm Cody Carpentier. I appreciate y'all tapping in on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning, week 12. Another big week. Fantasy playoffs are just a mere couple weeks away, so the dubs are as important as they've ever been right now. So if you got a question, drop it in the chat over there on the right side. If not, just hang out, relax, chill, set your lineups, grab a cup of coffee. I don't got a cup of coffee. I got a water this morning, though, so we're hanging out. Also, head on over to UnderdogFantasy.com today. Use that promo code ROSTER. Get a 50% deposit bonus up to $250. You go over there and do that now. You can also head on over to RosterWatch.com where you can get the ultimate underdog cheat sheet, player prop cheat sheet over at RosterWatch.com. We've been talking about it all season. We've been giving you free picks all season. We're hitting at a 61% rate right now all season. Our weeks have been mighty consistent. We've had a couple of down weeks, a couple of weeks where we've ticked into the 40%, but every other week of this year has been over 60, a couple weeks over 70, a week over 80%. It's an absolute maniacal cheat sheet over at RosterWatch.com. And this week we have 15 picks in. We gave you three free picks if you're signed up on the email list over RosterWatch.com. Matt Gay, higher than 6.5 kicking points. Amon-Ra St. Brown, higher than 75.5 receiving yards. And Cole Kmet, higher than 2.5 targets. That's one pick from Alex, one pick from Trashman, and one pick from myself. You got to get the rest over at RosterWatch.com. Become a pro member. You get the rankings. You get the underdog cheat sheet. You get the DFS tools. You get the trade targets, among 20 different things for $9.99 a month. $9.99 a month. And I'm telling you right now, I've made more than $9.99 every single week playing with the underdog cheat sheet from RosterWatch.com. I take all my picks. I literally copy all 15 picks, plug it into Chat GPT. I say, hey, could I please get 15 groups of 3 from this list? And then I put 15 lineups in Prize Picks, and that's what it is, or Prize Picks Underdog, or whatever system you'd like to play on, and that's just what it is. So there it is over there, UnderdogFantasy.com. Use the promo code ROSTER. All right. Let's jump into the chat, see what you guys are doing this morning. Appreciate you guys jumping in. Gooner Boy, we are a nation at RosterWatch.com. Appreciate you tapping in this morning, brother. It's not going to be a 2-hour show this morning. Probably going to be a little bit shorter. Probably going to be closer to that 45-minute mark. I'm on the road. As you can see, I'm not in my standard studio. I'm on the road, so I don't know how much my throat's got for. It's about to get dry. I could feel the dryness coming, so that's what it is. Gooner Boy, though, I see the top here. We got a bunch of people piling in. First question comes from Ty. He says, Guillotine League, need to add a boom player to survive this week. I'm looking at Worthy or Alec Pierce. Any preference or other boom players you like this week? Thanks, Doug. All right, so we're talking about boom players. So you're looking at high upside. Let's go here. Let's scroll over to. First off, we'll tell you where Worthy and Pierce are as far as our combined rankings this week. So Xavier Worthy comes in at wide receiver 36. Alec Pierce is down at wide receiver 49. We have Worthy against Carolina. I'm interested in this one. We took Carolina plus 10 at home against the Chiefs. I think that number now is at 11. It's 10.5 or 11. I like the upside there. I mean, you're talking about boom. I mean, Quentin Johnston has went boom multiple times. And this week he gets Baltimore, who's the ultimate don't care back end, and they'll just let you run. So I'm interested to see what that looks like. I think Quentin Johnston's a very interesting one. He's probably available in your Guillotine League in whatever situation you're sitting in. Outside of Worthy, I think that's probably my lean right now would be to take Quentin Johnston against the Baltimore Ravens. That's probably where I'm going to go, Ty. Miles Young, what's good, Cody? Do I start Kate Otten or George Kittle? Kate Otten or George Kittle? So we got Kate Otten this week lined up at tight end. That's not right. So Trashman has him at 6. I got him at 16. Alex has him at 11. Okay, so Otten's going to be right there at tight end 9 on the week. Kittle is just going to continually be tight end 4. He's going to continually be up there. It's a top 10 matchup for Kittle this week. It's a bottom 10 matchup for Otten this week, and he gets Mike Evans back. I think you can draw a line of interest for George Kittle, no matter who the quarterback is, because this offense, again, should work through predominantly McCaffrey and then Kittle, and then to whichever receiver is kind of game plan dependent, whether it's Debo or Jennings or Pearsall. So I like Kittle this week over Otten. John in Cedar Park, what's up, brother? Appreciate you always tapping in here. After starting 0-3, I'm excited to move a step closer to a playoff spot in continuation league today. In other leagues, should I start Tank Dell or Tyrone Tracy? Tank Dell or Tyrone Tracy? I'm gonna play Tyrone Tracy this week. I don't think Tank Dell's a bad play, but I do like Tracy. He's a top 20 play for us at the running back position, so it makes him an RB2. Ahead of guys like Rashad White, Javonte Williams, Austin Eckler. I don't think you can go wrong with Tyrone Tracy. Tank Dell, we've seen him and Nico work well together in a game back in 2023, but they didn't play a lot of games together, unfortunately. So I do think it can work, but I have less belief that it will work. Snowman, what's going on, brother? Hope all is well. Jorge, good morning. He says Adunze or Jalen Waddle. This Waddle thing's coming. I understand. I've told y'all to stay away, but this Waddle thing is coming. Adunze feels like he's coming too. So these guys we literally have ranked back to back in our rankings this week. So the model likes Adunze considerably more than Waddle. Adunze more than Waddle. I like Waddle considerably more than Adunze. Alex and Trashman are like tight with these guys. So they actually came in back to back, wide receiver 31, 32. I'm taking Waddle today. The game Chicago and Minnesota is going to be a black and blue game. I'm not sure what that looks like. I think that's more Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet. I think they try and run the football against the Vikings. I think that the Miami situation in Miami is going to be one that I think there's a chance. We get there. I'm not going to jinx it. I think there's a chance we get there with both these receivers for the first time this season. Smash that like button. Snowman says, Roster Watch Nation, unite. We appreciate you, Snowman, for tapping in here. Rohit Yashi, what's going on? Who do I start? Tyreek Hill or Alan Lazard? Come on, brother. You got. I just said this thing about Jalen Waddle. I think this is the week that both of these guys, Waddle and Hill, pay off. It's hard not. I mean, you can't. It's hard not to play Tyreek Hill. And I understand your question and maybe your concern, but let's go ahead and play Tyreek Hill today. You're trying to make the playoffs, you're trying to make the championship. You got to make those championship moves here. Matt Cassidy, full PPR. The most common question here is pick one. Tank Dell. Whoop. Matt Cassidy, you're butchering this morning. Tank Dell, Adunze, JMO, full PPR. Okay, so JMO is one spot ahead of Tank Dell this week, and Adunze is like 6 spots below those guys. So JMO's got one spot on Tanks. We're going JMO today. Matt Cassidy, appreciate the question. Appreciate you always tapping in on a beautiful Sunday. Jan Sawaki, appreciate you jumping in again. You've been jumping in all year. Appreciate you guys. Always appreciate seeing the same names week after week after week after week tapping in to the show. It means a lot. Need upside half PPR, Wan'Dale Robinson, Michael Wilson, or Rashad Bateman. Wan'Dale Robinson, I'm not sure poses upside, but I do like Wan'Dale Robinson this week. He's got the number 3 matchup against Tampa, a new quarterback. I think that DeVito, obviously he'll take his shots, but I think he keeps it closer to the line of scrimmage. Targets for Tracy, targets for Wan'Dale, potentially some targets for Theo Johnson. Michael Wilson versus Bateman is interesting, but I don't think there's enough there for Wilson to kind of bite off the bone. I think your upside probably sits with Bateman. If you're looking for true upside, there's always potential for him to, catch 3 or 4 balls and go for 100 yards and potentially score. That's out there. That's in the range of possibilities. So I guess if you're saying need true upside, I'd probably lean Bateman here, but who I feel best about scoring 12 points, it's Wan'Dale Robinson here. So best of luck, Jan. Appreciate the question. Rohit said, I'm thinking on Lazard. He's tough. He's not Tyreek Hill. We'll just leave it at that. He's not Tyreek Hill. Jorge, how do you feel about Lob and Abdullah? I don't feel good about any of the Las Vegas stuff. I want them to give Lob, just like give him the football. 80% of the time and just say, hey, go be McCaffrey then if you're going to go be McCaffrey. Like they call you East Coast New Hampshire McCaffrey for a reason. Go be him. Instead, they're going to run out here and they're going to give Amir Abdullah the ball too much. I don't quite understand why, but they're going to do it. He classifies for me as a back end RB3, running back 35, bottom 10 matchup against Denver. I think it's putrid. There's probably more than a 50% chance that Lob finishes with more fantasy points because he gets potentially some later work in the game, maybe some targets, and maybe potentially he scores. So I don't feel good about playing either one. Kip C, it's play stretch. Good morning, Cody. When setting my lineups, appreciate you, Kip C. Keep on keeping on, and let us know when you win those championships. We appreciate you. Z-Use. Am I crazy for wanting to flex Dylan Lobb over Jonnu Smith? LOL, down bad this week with Devonta out. I also have Trey Benson. I don't think I just got a text from Alex, and I don't obviously, but I just got a text from Alex that Rohit's messing with me because the Jets are on bye. I don't even that's why I didn't even entertain it because I was like, it's Tyreek Hill. I didn't even entertain the Alan Lazard side, but he said you're messing with me. I now understand that. Rohit, Jesus. ZU's though, he says, am I crazy to want to play Lob over Jonnu? I don't think you're Alex. I know he's on IR. I wasn't sure if he, whatever, it doesn't matter. To play Lob over Jonnu. I don't think it's crazy, but I don't think it's right. We've seen Jonnu give you plenty of output the last couple of weeks. Lob, we're literally trusting Antonio Pierce to do the right thing. We're trusting the Raiders to do the right thing. When's the last time you saw the Raiders do the right thing with player usage? The beginning of the year, you saw the inefficiencies of Zamir White, and they're like, no, man, let's just play Alexander Madison, and he's better. He's not better. He just was more efficient in the receiving game, and so then all of a sudden you're just giving him all the carries, and Zamir White's just a zero now. I'm not sure we should set our lineups based on what the Raiders are telling us. So I don't really want to play Amir Abdullah. He was running back 23 last week. Dylan Lobby literally hasn't played all season. I'm sticking with Jonnu Smith. I mean, it's a maniacal question. I understand it. Trey Benson is interesting there, but again, James Conner is still healthy. They still utilize Imari DeMarcado. Jonnu Smith was tight end 3 last week. He was tight end 11 2 weeks ago. As much as I still believe Tyreek and Waddle can get there, there's equal belief that Jonnu Smith should be able to get there on 92% of routes and a 20% target share that we've seen him get multiple times over the course of the last month. Full PPR, thanks for the question, ZUs. Matt Cassidy, full PPR, Knicks or Daniels. This is tough because I love me some Bo Nix, and I bumped him up last week into the top 5 because he deserves to be there. The problem is it's J-Day. J-Day is pulling Dallas this week. Top 5 matchup in the RosterWatch matchup tool. Got him at wide receiver 1. As a consensus, he's our wide receiver. Did I say wide receiver? Quarterback 1. As a consensus, he's our quarterback 2. For me, Bo Nix is my quarterback 2. So I got Daniels, Bo Nix. As a consensus, Bo is a couple more spots down. So we're pretty much in line. Jaden Daniels is the answer here, Matt Cassidy. But I mean, you can't go wrong. We're expecting good games out of both of these guys as they both have top 5 matchups here in week 12. Matt Cassidy, always appreciate you jumping in here. Gooner Boy says, stashing Ray Davis, Braylon Allen, Blake Corum, Jalen Wright, Tank Bigsby, Trey Benson, and Roshan Johnson in one league. Am I doing this right? For the most part, yes, you're doing this right. Hopefully that team doesn't suck, because the purpose of having at least 1 or 2 of these guys down the stretch is the opportunity opens up, and then you have this diamond in the rough, this diamond that you could just plug in your starting lineup that can bang out 20 fantasy points. If an Achane goes down, or a James Cook goes down, or Breece Hall goes down, all of a sudden you have that guy. You got all of them. So hopefully it doesn't mean that your team is bad in other places and that you can actually make a run into these playoffs in case one of these guys does open up. But Gooner Boy, a legend of the show, a legend of the game, always tapping in. You're doing it right, brother. You're doing it right. Specialist 90. Good morning, Cody. Would you start Tony Pollard or Rachaad White? Also, Hawkinson or Otten? PPR, thanks for the expertise, brother. Specialist 90, appreciate you. Thank you for tapping in this morning. Pollard or Rachaad White for me. I believe I had these guys literally back to back. Pollard is a consensus we have right there, running back 17. Alex a little more bullish on him, and the model a little more bullish on him this week than Trashman and I. I have Rachaad White ahead of Tony Pollard up at running back 13, but as a consensus, I will say Pollard is the guy. The interesting thing, and I think the question here, and I think I understand why I'm probably ahead on this one with White, is I think we've already seen what they want out of Bucky Irving and the lack there of Sean Tucker, but I think we've already seen what, like, usually that bye week gives you some rookie output coming out of it. I'm not sure they're going to completely pivot this thing and give it to Bucky Irving out of the bye. Like, I think they want Rachaad White to get healthy. They got Mike Evans getting healthy, not quite healthy yet. It sounds like he's still been limited all week. I think they want to make the move eventually. It seems eventually make the move and roll with Bucky, whenever that day comes. I don't think it's today. But I still feel good about Rachaad White. Still a really good running back. And when he's given proper opportunities, Rachaad White is a stud. And I think a lot of people forget that because the shining new toy in Bucky Irving comes in and does his thing. But you got to remember this Rachaad White last year especially, and then even this year in the last month, running back 2, running back 14, running back 5, like he's giving you a lot of good output on less than 60% of output, on less than 60% of snaps. Bucky Irving, yeah, he was running back 7 last week or 2 weeks ago as well, but it's wishy-washy for me. The consistency, I guess, lays with Bucky, but I think that's going to be one of the few things I'm going to be definitely looking for closest this week, is just to see what that snap share and what that carry share and what those targets look like between Bucky and Rachaad White. So for those reasons, I'm still going to go with Rachaad White over Tony Pollard. I know Pollard is pulling a tougher matchup this week. So with Houston, at Houston, I'm good on that. I'll go Rachaad White. The other question you had was Hawkinson or Cade Otton at the tight end position. So Hawkinson, Josh Oliver out today for the Minnesota Vikings. He's obviously been the one snake biting all of the targets at the tight end position in the tight end route tree from Hawkinson. They are not going to use Johnny Munt the same way they use Josh Oliver. They'll run Munt out there. Munt will get a target. Trust me on that. Munt might get a flat route in the end zone. He might catch the damn thing, but Hawkinson's going to get all these tight end route targets when they're lined up in 12 personnel and they got him run down the seam, etc. Cade Otton, unfortunately, is going to have should have a target regression with Mike Evans coming back, coming out of a bye. Hopefully, Jalen McMillan's a little more enhanced into the offense. I think Cade Otton takes a step back. So we got Cade Otton done at tight end 9 on the week, and we got Hawkinson at tight end 6 on the week. I have him as tight end 3. So we're going to go Rachaad White and TJ Hawkinson this week, specialist 90. John on Cedar Park, 9 years in, and RosterWatch always pays for itself many times over. That's what it is. You got to know. You see the ticker rolling across the bottom of the screen right now. You go over to RosterWatch.com. You can get that Underdog Pick'em cheat sheet. You can get the Week 12 rankings. You get the DFS tools. You can get the trade targets. There's a million things on a weekly basis. Trash man's garbage grab, everything over there at RosterWatch.com. Just go over there, just hang out, check it out. There's free stuff. There's stuff behind on the pro paywall. It's literally $9.99 a month. It's like you can't pay coffee. You can't buy coffee for you and your wife for cheaper than $9.99 a month, but you can tap into RosterWatch, win your fantasy leagues, and like I said, I've made more than $9.99 every single week on the Underdog cheat sheet from RosterWatch.com. John Cedar Park knows. France fans, Juwan Jennings or Rachaad White, full PPR. Thanks, my dog. I'm just going to keep this one flat. I'm going Rachaad White. The quarterback situation in San Francisco scares me a little bit. I'm not sure that football is going to be pushed into tighter downfield windows to Juwan Jennings. Purdy seemed to have a good connection with Jennings, which nobody else has ever had in Jennings' tenure as a Niner since he came out of Tennessee. So I'm going to go ahead and fade Jennings today. Give me Rachaad White. Kyle Singer says pick one, Tua or Love. Tua or Love. So I got Tua at at quarterback 10. and Love down there at quarterback 15 as a consensus. Tua is a top 10 matchup on the RosterWatch matchup tool. Jordan Love's a bottom 10 matchup in the RosterWatch matchup tool. No Brock Purdy on the other side for San Francisco. So I'm not sure this game, not that it ever did have like shootout ability, but there's two talented offenses here that could have both pushed the score up into the 30s. I'm not sure that San Fran can even, hold their own, hold their side of the bargain up. Like if Green Bay starts to score here and they get up 20-7, I'm not sure San Fran has enough in the gas tank to just start pushing down the gas pedal and push the thing up to 14, up to 21, and make Green Bay have to fight back. So I think that limits your upside for a Jordan Love play today. So I'm going to go ahead and ride with Tua. I talked about Waddle before. I talked about Tyreek before. I think this is the week that both of those guys get through and finish as top 24 wide receivers in the same week. First time since week 1 for Tyreek and Waddle. So let's go with Tua today. Kip C says, we're running with A-Rich or Stafford. A-Rich or Stafford. Make sure we don't get any super chats. Okay, roll back up. A-Rich or Stafford today. Also in PPR, am I really going to give No, you're not going to give consideration to Amir Abdullah over DeAndre Swift. Ride Swift. Like I said, fade the Raider stuff. We've been fading it all year. Just stay away. If he bites you for a 30-pointer, you just deal with it. Just deal with it. It's not going to happen. A-Rich or Stafford. This is what's the word here? Tumultuous one. Alex has Richardson as a top 10 play at the quarterback position. Trashman has him at 14. I have him at 19. We're like tiered on Richardson of where we think. So he's kind of sitting right there at quarterback 13 on the week for us. The other one you said was Matthew Stafford, who's got a bottom 10 matchup on the RosterWatch matchup tool. We're very consistent at where we have him ranked right there at quarterback 16. So we're going to go with Richardson. I have Stafford ahead of Richardson personally, but I'll ride with the consensus. The fellas like Richardson. They both like him over Stafford. So I'll go ahead and bend the knee, at least for this question. And I understand the rushing upside that Richardson does pose, but I am worried with that back to, I'm not sure he can go back to back, especially against this Detroit defense. I didn't say it on the. We're talking about making our picks for the Circa entry this week. I didn't even press, but the fact that we haven't taken Detroit, I'm not going to say it doesn't get under my skin a little bit. It doesn't make me itch a little bit on a weekly basis that we just don't take Detroit. It doesn't matter. Detroit covers. Detroit wins. Detroit beats the blood out of everybody that they play. So I'm worried about Richardson, but I think the rushing gets you there over Stafford. Kip C. Bob Watson, wide receiver 3. J-Mo, Jennings, Waddle, or Myers. You need one guy out of those 4. So the first one I'm going to cross off here is Jennings, process of elimination here. Jameson, Waddle, or Myers. I think that's interesting. That's interesting. Maybe I'm wrong here a little bit. We have Jennings ranked a little bit higher this week than right there. I got to move him down for me personally. This is going to be one of these live adjustments that I make. Very few every week, live adjustments, but I'm going to make the live adjustment on Juwan Jennings. I don't know why I have Juwan Jennings this high. I must not have updated it since the official Purdy injury came out. I'm going to move him down to here and go there. Live adjustment on air, folks. That's how we do it here. We don't want to be wrong. Okay. J-Mo, Jennings, Waddle, Myers. So I'll just tell you where I have these guys. I got Jennings at 32. I got Waddle at 12. I got J-Mo at 19. And who's the fourth one? Myers. Myers is going to be much further down here. Myers is going to be at 46 for me. And I'm lower than consensus I guess the consensus would be Alex, Trashman, and the model. I think Jacoby's probably going to get that Surtain treatment, and I'm a little worried about that. So I'm going to stay away from that. But as far as my rankings go, I'm going to tell you to take J-Mo today. And I think that's going to be tight with Waddle, but I think I'm going to ride with J-Mo against Indianapolis for the reasons I talked about earlier. Tiger, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you jumping in here this morning. Aminaster 2023. I need a running back off waivers this week with buys and have Estime right now, but would Abdullah, Benson, Akers, Justice Hill, or Roshan be better options? I think Akers, I've said this the last couple weeks, I think Akers is a good play in a situation like this. Abdullah, we got him ranked at running back 29 consensus. I think, where'd that go? 30, running back 30 consensus. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else here that potentially could be up there. There's not really. Justice Hill's right below him. Cam Akers right below him. I think I'm on right. I'm still going to take Cam Akers, though. I have Cam Akers ranked ahead of both of those guys. All right. Matt Cassidy, PPR pick 3, got 3 of the best running backs in Barkley, Henry, Kyron. I also have Hunt. Is it getting too cute to bench possibly one of these guys for Hunt? Kyron against my Eagles is tough. Thoughts? With no Pacheco, I would play. I would be willing to play Hunt. I mean, Hunt's gone gangbusters. I got him at running back 6 this week. He's getting Carolina. With no Pacheco, I feel really good about that. So Barkley, Henry. Honestly, Henry's probably the one I kind of want to stay away from because of the whole Chargers staff knows the Baltimore secrets, but Derrick Henry hasn't been in Baltimore. I think that's the one thing that they could potentially take away is the running game. So I think I probably would fade Henry a touch if I faded any of them. Tiger, Kelsey, or Hawk. I'm going Hawkinson here. Steel Bill. Rico droppable. If he is, could I pick up Cam Akers, Roshan, or Justice Hill? I would pick up Cam Akers. Ben Ingang, appreciate you more. Good morning. Non-PPR, Amir, Addison, or Bateman, or Pittman. I would play Addison today against the Bears. Nick Tabs, what's up, big dog? Favorite undercovered op to go off today? To be honest with you, I don't really have one this week. Just gonna be honest with you, don't really have one this week, Nick Tabs. Sorry about that. I don't have I don't think there's a guy in a spot that's really rearing. I guess you could say coming out of a bye, Jalen McMillan. That's the one I talked about earlier. So let's go Jalen McMillan. I talked about him earlier, coming out of the bye for Tampa. We think Mike Evans is going to be back. He's limited all week. Give me Jalen McMillan. I brought it up earlier. So there's your answer, Nick Tabs. I didn't think I had one, but I guess I did. It came up in the back of my head as soon as I read out your question. Franz, would you pay a late 25 first for Brian Robinson? No. Half PPR, Neighbors or McLaurin today. Neighbors popped up with that groin on Friday, but he's going to be fine, so we're going to play Neighbors today. Feeling like a misstep here, dropped Kmet, even though he's running big routes, dropped for Theo Johnson. I may eat this week. I wouldn't have done that. I would be playing Kmet this week. I like Kmet. Addison Clock, PPR for flex. DeVito, Rush, Quentin Johnston. Oof, that's a super flex spot. So DeVito, Rush, or Quentin. I'm gonna play Quentin Johnston. Honestly, I don't want to touch Cooper Rush and DeVito. I think there's some rushing upside there, but I don't trust it. I think logically you probably would play DeVito there, but I'm gonna play Quentin Johnston. Nick Tabs, thoughts on Yosivash Burton for Dynasty, considering dropping Yosivash for Lob. I still believe that Higgins is not going to be there next year. I still believe that Higgins is not going to be there this year, but they do seem to like Jermaine Burton quite a bit. We know that Yosivash is good in the run blocking game. We know Yosivash is good when given opportunities. I'm not sure I can get behind dropping Yosivash for Lob at this point, Nick. I just don't trust what the Raiders are doing. Now, again, the thing is, like in Dynasty, like 6 months from now, they could have Deion Sanders as the coach, Shadur Sanders as the quarterback, and revamp this thing, and Lob could be like the sole back on the roster. You could be looking at that. That's the one thing where you go, okay, well, I could probably get behind that. And they've done it at Colorado. They've just used donkeys at running back. So I could get the Lobby thing. Couple more questions. I'm going to get out of here early today. I got to go run an errand quick here. I'm in Austin right now. Got a brand new shirt also, by the way. Pretty sick, pretty clean. So going over, if I haven't got to your question yet, I'm only getting a couple more questions in. I got to jump. Going over to RosterWatch.com. There's a thread up. It's called Week 12, start sit thread. All you got to do is go over there, drop your question. Alex will answer it. Trashman will answer it. Byron will answer it. And I'll jump in there as well and answer your start sit questions. Going over to RosterWatch.com. Every other week, I give you an hour and a half, 2 hours of my time. Today, you're only getting a half an hour. You got to go over to RosterWatch.com. Playoffs are coming. We got a lot to get done. Drop those questions over there, RosterWatch.com, in the start sit thread. Going over there, you can see at the bottom of the screen. I'll answer your question here one second, Dylan Fink. But you can see the bottom of the screen scrolling across right there. So there's a QR code down the top left. Not only does that get you rankings, but that'll take you to the underdog picks of the week. It'll take you to the start sit thread. It'll take you to everything over at RosterWatch.com. That's the top left of the screen right now. I can also drop that link in the chat right now. Do that right here quick. Go right there. Then I got to go back up to Dylan Fink. I missed you. Where do you go? Where did Dylan Fink go? Happy game day. Full PPR, 3 questions, different league, 1 flex upside. Vele, Kine, Schoonmaker. Well, that's Kine for sure as your upside play. 1 quarterback, Baker or Kyler. I'm going to go Kyler here against Seattle. Baker, we think's getting we think he's going to get a full Evans back. I'm not sure he's going to quite get a full Evans back, so I'm going to go I think I'm going to ride with Kyler if you want to get some upside there. And Kyler also overall is a rank. We got higher than Baker. 1 running back, Akers, Abdullah, Lobb, Gus Bus, Mostert. First thoughts, I think, take me to Akers, Lobb, Gus Bus, Mostert. Yeah, I'm going to ride with Akers here. Got him 4 spots ahead of Mostert. That's my second choice. Jan, appreciate you. Thank you as well. Kip C smashing at over 56.5 on Evans. I feel he and Baker have a lot to prove today. Plus, he smashes the Giants 109 yards per game all time and is 3 highest versus any team. Interesting stat. Good stat there, Kip C. Appreciate you. Thinking too much into it or decent play. I think that's a great play. It's a great stat. It's a great trend to pull on. I like that, Kip C. Good call. Dylan Fink, couple more here, and I got to get out. Dylan Fink, full PPR flex. Dobbins, Dell, Hopkins. Dobbins, Dell, Hopkins. I don't think I like Hopkins as much in this Carolina matchup. I think this one's going to be a bit odd as far as your scoring output goes for the Kansas City side of anything. So to me, it's between Dell and Dobbins. Dobbins has a tougher matchup against his former team. Dell has to play with Nico again. I think that's a good matchup. So I'm going to go with Dell today. But I think Dell and Dobbins, I don't think you can go wrong either way. Bob Watson, need a flex. Rashad White, Javonte, or Eckler. I'm going to go with Javonte today. I like Javonte today, kind of in a little bit of a bounce back spot. He's been bouncing back. It's so weird. That 1 week with Estime playing a lot has kind of pulled everyone's thoughts down. I get it, but I'm going to go ahead and ride with our guy, Javonte Williams. We do like Javonte Williams, the talent, a lot here at RosterWatch.com. He was running back 10 last week for the Broncos. Do not forget that. Yes, ZUs, I know. I got earlier, but I didn't actually get got because I didn't actually – reference Allen Lazard at all. I just said, come on, Tyreek Hill, period. Thank you, though, ZUs. 2 more here. We'll finish out with John Cedar Park. Frozen State Productions, Daniels or Stafford at quarterback. Daniels is our consensus QB1 this week at RosterWatch.com. So we're going to go ahead and ride. I think did I say that wrong? Hurts is, I guess, our consensus. Sorry. Daniels is my QB1. Sorry, Alex. I said that wrong. Daniels over Stafford this week, Frozen State. Last question. Underdog is going to pay. This is from John in Cedar Park. Underdog is going to pay the mortgage today. This could be 100% week. Do you like Roschon more than Swift today? John in Cedar Park, you're a legend of the game. You're a legend of RosterWatch.com. I do not think that I can say Roschon is going to outperform Swift today in PPR. So I have to ride with Swift. But I tell you what, I do like Roschon all the way up to running back 37, which I think is enough for Roschon to get there in some facet, whether it's 8 points. And you know what the weird thing is, these guys that are in this area between running back 29, so it's like your Jalen Warren down to like your running back 42, which is like Jaleel McLaughlin for us. Any given week, guys like this can score a touchdown or 2, catch a couple passes or 4, and get there in fantasy football and give you dubs. So I wouldn't be against playing Roschon Johnson. But DeAndre Swift has been quietly pretty solid. He's had a couple of down weeks. but only 1 week out to the top 24 at the running back position since week 4. We like DeAndre Swift. I like DeAndre Swift. You should play DeAndre Swift. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. Remember, go on over to RosterWatch.com. Tap in. There's a start sit thread over there. Again, generally I give you an hour and a half, 2 hours. Can't do that today. Going over to RosterWatch.com, and I'll be in the comments. Alex will be in the comments. Trashman Byron will be in the comments. We'll get all your questions answered. Best of luck in Week 12. Let's kick some tail, and let's get to the playoffs. Let's clinch those spots, and let's win some championships.
This is Anthony Richardson.